Hello and welcome to Monday Morning Detective, the podcast. I'm your host, Gino Scala. This is episode number 50. Today we're going to discuss the very strange but troubling disappearance of a young lady, Carlee Russell, right here in Alabama. She's from Hoover, Alabama, and Hoover is a very nice location. And her name is Carlee Nicole Russell. She is 25 years old. Thursday evening, Carlee called the 911 dispatch, indicating that she saw a young child walking along Interstate 459 near her hometown of Hoover. This is in Alabama, and it was fairly late in the evening. It was dark, and the operator could hear that Carlee was speaking to a small child. She could not hear the child, but she did hear her talking to someone, and she assumes it was a child. Then the dispatcher heard Carlee scream, and they lost contact with Carlee, although her phone remained on. When the police arrived, they were unable to find. They found Carlee's red Mercedes still running, but they were unable to find her or the child. The car door was open. They found her wig, her hat, and her cell phone, which was still on. Investigators report there were no reports of a missing child in the area. So this is how the news was broken, and at which time I immediately realized, although I'm not familiar with any previous case like this, it was apparent to me that someone baited this woman by using this child. So they have this child walking along the freeway. Someone, a supposed victim, would stop and render assistance, and at which time they would be taken against their will, as in a kidnapping. That was my assumption. And I put it out there on social media that it looks like she was baited. Well, as it turns out, the police said the same thing. It looks as if she was baited in this situation. 48 hours later, she shows up at the front door of her parents. Everybody was glad she was fine, alive anyway, and she was immediately taken to the hospital for evaluation, and it's kind of been a cone of silence since then. However, the boyfriend, Carlee's boyfriend, indicated on social media, on Twitter, that his girlfriend was kidnapped at knife point and raped. Now, it's unusual for a boyfriend to be coming out with this information. That's something for the parents, but we don't know. Maybe they gave him permission. The police have not indicated anything like that at this time. They may be keeping it quiet for personal reasons. You don't like to go around talking about having been raped, true or not, and it's very personal. This is a very, very religious family by all evidence of what they've been saying. So while I feel I'm happy. Of course, I'm very happy that she's alive. I'm happy that she's safe. And I'm happy that I was able to predict in advance what actually happened based on the very little and very strange evidence. But it does make you wonder. Because although we haven't heard this type of story before, where they used a small child to bait someone. Now, other people in the past have faked a kidnapping to cover up something else. I think we probably all remember Sherry Papini. She faked her kidnapping to cover up for the fact that she was cheating on her husband. We had a Jessica Nordquist. Who was trying to pin the crime on her ex-boyfriend. And there have been many others. One woman claimed to have been carjacked and kidnapped, where they took $9,000 from her, which she was going to use to pay for employees, and that turned out all to be falsified and fake, as the police were later able to get CCTV footage of where the location was that she claimed it happened. One guy, a 40-year-old guy out of Michigan, pretended to be the kidnapper and insisted on $1,000 for ransom from his parents. He later accepted $150 as ransom paid, and the police were able to catch him, and it turns out he was obviously looking for money for his drug habit. And then we recently, within the last few years, a woman by the name of Hillary Black out of Georgia, who insisted that she was kidnapped and robbed at an ATM and attempted rape. And through grilling, she eventually confessed that she had made it all up. Now, more famous cases includes that girl who ended up drowning her 2 children in her vehicle. Can't think of her name offhand. Horrible crime, but she originally stated that she was carjacked and kidnapped, and the suspect, who she identified as a black male, drowned her children. We now know that was not the case. She was also covering up an affair. And Jodi Arias, who claimed a home invasion. With 2 black male subjects who beat she and her boyfriend, killing her boyfriend in a grotesque manner while he was in the shower. And it turns out that she was the suspect. So we have had fake kidnappings before. And there is a possibility this is not what it seems to be. I'd like to take credit in the sense that I called it that she was baited with a child. But at this point, with the silence that's been going on from the police and only one report from the boyfriend, now the family and the boyfriend are going to want to believe this story. As bad as that story is, if in fact she suffered a break from reality, which that seems to be happening quite a bit in the world today. People are depressed or some stressors, outside stressors, and they have a complete break from reality and imagine certain things. Now, she may have imagined this child, and she may have imagined the entire incident, and was found, was roaming the streets for 48 hours until she found her way home. That's very possible. They have a break from reality, and after some rest or something, they seem to come back to reality. Now, I think this is a very real possibility. I'm going to give this a 40% chance of being true. 40% that she had a break from reality. I'm going to give it 60% that she was kidnapped and raped at knife point. But those are the two options I think we have at this point in this crime. Whichever it is, my heart goes out to Carlee and her family and her boyfriend. For her to, if she were taken, at knife point and harmed in any way, while stopping to help a child, she's a freaking hero, okay? She's a victim, but she's also a hero in my book, because other people passed by without stopping. So God bless her for doing that. If it turns out to be a break from reality, God bless her for getting back, and I can only pray that she has a full recovery and life goes on. I hold nothing against her. These things happen when you're seriously depressed or dehydrated or stressed to the max. You just have, something snaps and you don't, your imagination runs wild. Okay? So that's this situation with Carlee and her kidnapping. And we pray for her full recovery. And that'll be it for Monday Morning Detective, episode 50. And we look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.